Welcome back to Buffalo with just under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. And the Bills lead the Dolphins by the score of 27-10.
And at halftime, the star attraction will be the sweeper. And he will go for it. There are a couple of them. He's not going to do this alone. He will have help. They have a backup sweeper.
As they attempt to clear some of the snow off the field. Let's see if they go after Roby Al Edwards back deep. Good kick. Roby had a 64-yard punt last week. Edwards coughed it up. The Dolphins say they have it. Al Edwards on the muff. Off the punt return, a 44-yard punt and a 26-yard return, and Miami has recovered.
All right, here comes Edwards with the ball. He moved the ball from his right hand to his left hand. More comfortable there, but the ball is stripped away, and Miami comes up with the ball. Now just think about something, Marvin. There's a minute 41. Miami has the ball. Here it comes again. The ball is stripped away. Miami ends up with it. That's Roby. Punters, they're tough. Big two. Let me tell you something. Here's the thing. Think about it. 141 remaining, Miami, right? If they score a touchdown, they're within 10. They get the ball back in the second half. They can score 14 points to be in this ball game right after the half.
E.J. Jr. on the strip, leading to the muff. Mark Logan, and he loses it.
Down by contact.
Miami maintaining possession.
Ball belongs to the offense. Ball belongs to the offense. All right, here comes Logan. He comes in. Tackle here. Shane Conlon. He hits the ground. Ball comes out. Down by contact. Excellent call. Let's get on with it.
Terrific first half for Conlon. His 7th tackle of the day. 2nd down and 5. Marino threw in a crowd, and he hit the official.
Well, Bruce Smith almost had his second interception. Rex Stewart, the umpire, number 95, take a shot. Here it comes again. Now, there's Bruce. Bruce almost has his second interception. Here goes Rex. Way to get sandwiched. Rex is up. He's looking good. Limping, but good. That's the old sandwich play.
Limping, but good.
They've got extras. They brought extra referees, too, you know.
It is a 3rd and 5 at the 42 with a minute 2 remaining in the first half. And again, a deflection. And it goes incomplete. That intended for Tony Martin.
Well, that ball was thrown behind. Now, here's the problem. You have 4th down. And do you take a chance here in 56 seconds to go? Because the Buffalo Bills, they haven't even slowed down offensively. The Bills still have 3 timeouts remaining. And it's 4th down. The ball is actually, I'll read the marker for you, Mark, 43-yard line.
Thank you.
Buffalo.
It's a 4th and 5, and the Dolphins going for it.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
And Marino asked for the timeout.
The clock was down to 0, that's why.
The Bills looking for a delay of game. Bruce Smith complaining, but the officials say that the timeout was called.
Buongiorno. I'm in Italy enjoying one of the true specialties of Italian cuisine, the New York Strip. Perfecto. Boy, feels like I'm in the USA. Beef, real food in Little Italy, New York.
If you've ever been stranded, you ought to get this Interstate X2 booster. It's actually 2 batteries in one. So, when you run down your main battery, the extra booster battery starts your car. Interstate X2 booster. Best idea since a spare tire.
All right, here's what happened on that play when Marino calls timeout. Look at Ulenag is turning around looking. Bruce Smith moved over. Marino knows he doesn't have a chance to audibilize. He doesn't have enough time. First of all, you can't hear anything because the crowd's going nuts. Bruce is in a position, he's been there before, but they have to make an adjustment. There was not enough time for Ulenag to make any kind of a call, so they call timeout.
Miami 4th down and 5. 56 seconds remaining in the first half, but this time Marino was able to call the play during the timeout. They are on their feet here in Buffalo. Mark Duper once again hooking up with Dan Marino.
Want to know why? First of all, the offensive line blocked very well. Is there a flag down there? Bruce Smith is saying flag.
Number 78 defense.
And
lined up in the
Bruce,
neutral
yeah, you're right.
zone.
There was a flag. It was
That's
against you for
flag.
being offside.
First down.
But what happened is the Bills had a blitz on, and Marino read the blitz beautifully. Had Duper one-on-one on the outside on Nate Odom. Watch this. First of all, he goes by Nate Odom. I mean, that's just incidental stuff there. But watch where this ball is thrown. Duper makes the catch. Smith comes over and knocks him out of bounds. They have the ball about the 4-yard line. And Bruce was complaining there's a flag on the play. It was against him for being offside.
38-yard pass play. 3rd catch for Duper. It sets a 1st and goal at the 4. Marino went deep to the end zone. Kirby Jackson on the coverage for Mark Clayton. And it will be a 2nd and goal at the 4 with 45 seconds remaining in the first half.
Now, Richmond Webb just went back and said something to Marino. Whether he could block Bruce Smith inside or outside, whatever he's talking about, but he actually went to Marino when he was coming up off the ground to say something to him.
It's Smith. Good second effort, refusing to go down. We'll have to wait and see where they mark it. Clock is running. We're down to 30 seconds.
And that's really one of the keys to running. You're talking about continuous effort by Smith. Miami takes a timeout, which is their 2nd timeout. They still have 1 remaining, but the continuous effort of Smith, because what's happening is the defense and offensive linemen are trying to get position. They really can't get any footing. And as long as he can keep moving, he can bust a tackle. We watched Thurman Thomas do it going up and down the field. I mean, he's a master at it. Now you got Sammy Smith doing the same thing.
When we resume, it is a 3rd and goal from the 2.
We have those over at the country club where I belong. When you get done playing golf, you get your golf shoes. And I don't. It's the whole thing. The ground is covered. I mean, I don't understand what that really does, because by the time you clean them off on the sideline and you get back on the field, you have snow build up again.
We have one of those up here in the booth for you too, Paul.
See, wow, not with the boots I have on today. These are wonderful.
The crowd urging the Buffalo defensive unit on with 27 seconds remaining in the half. The Dolphins have 1 timeout remaining.
Did you hear what Nog McElwee just said? He said, here it is again.
Buffalo calling for the timeout. Marv Levy perhaps looking to check out what Miami had in store.
Well, it's true. Miami took a timeout because they wanted to regroup down here. They want to at least come away with 3. That's something that's imperative. Then Buffalo goes out and they show them kind of a defense that they have, and look at the personnel that Miami has out there, and they take a timeout. Now, what is Miami? They're going to come back with somebody else? They are coming with Roy Foster. Now, he's reporting, so he's going to be on the line of scrimmage. So he'll be playing one of the tight end slots, who is a guard, number 61.
Yes, he is used as a 2nd tight end, but primarily as a blocker.
Now, yesterday we were watching him. They threw the ball to Foster. Let me say what happened yesterday in the bubble. He dropped it.
All right, it's a 3rd and goal from the 2.
Marino's got it all by himself.
Dan Marino with a gorgeous fake to run it in.
Nate Odom was totally fooled. shame. Conlon was totally fooled. Nobody expected Dan Marino to keep the ball. The fake inside. Remember what I said? They had 1:41. If they score, they go to 17 now. And if they get the ball, here comes Marino to the outside. Look, everybody's jammed on the inside. Hey, Marino, nobody there. The walk home. Nate Odom's job is he's got the outside man and outside responsibility. His job, that's number 37, Nate Odom, played a super game so far, is supposed to stay right there. He did not. When he didn't, Marino walks in.
21 seconds remaining in the half. It's going out of it. Getting set. And puts it through. So despite the fact that Buffalo statistically has dominated Miami, the Dolphins managed to hang in.
Because Marino, I mean, when you take a look at what happens here, everybody's looking at run. They bring in an offensive guard right here on the end of the line. This is the man, number 37, Nate Odom. His job is to come upfield if you're going to do anything. First job is this guy here, but you have a safety help here. So if he's blocking, you've got to come upfield this way because you can't help out in here anyway. Let's take a look at what happens. He goes down the line of scrimmage. He's out of the play. It's over. Boom.
And head coach Marv Levy talking to himself off that last play. The big play of that drive, Marino connecting with Duper on a 4th down play. It went for 38 yards. It set up the 1st and goal. So 21 seconds remaining in the first half. Coming up, our halftime edition of NFL Live with Bob, Will, and OJ. And Todd Christensen drawing some studio chores, and he'll take a look at tomorrow's AFC divisional matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the LA Raiders at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. We're told that folks at Nike and Bo Jackson bought up. Here's the return by Don Smith. That is now an official sellout, so that game will be shown in Los Angeles. Bo obviously looking for the extra exposure in the LA area. He and the people from Nike buying up the tickets.
Bo knows tickets. Bo knows tickets. He knows everything.
So Jim Kelly, 11 for 16, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was a question mark going into today because of the knee injury. He suffered cartilage and ligament damage in his left knee during that mid-December game against the Giants at the New Jersey Meadowlands.
They're just going to take a knee and get out of here. But the thing about it is the Miami Dolphins, keep in mind, they will get the ball back to start in the second half.
So that is the end of the first half in the rain and snow here in Buffalo. It's the Bills 27 and the Dolphins 17. Coming up, Bob Costas, Will McDonough, and O.J. Simpson. Now to NFL Live. Let's go back to our New York studios.
Thank you, Marvelous One, and it is just as you said. Coming up at halftime, Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson, and Todd Christensen will comment on the first half, and we'll look ahead to tomorrow's Bengals-Raiders playoff game. But first, with an update on the circumstances in the Persian Gulf, we go to NBC News and Garrick Utley. Garrick?
Thanks, Bob. Good afternoon. It is truly an historic and dramatic day this afternoon in Congress. The Senate and the House are moving towards votes which would authorize President Bush to use force against Iraq as of the UN deadline Tuesday midnight. We want to bring you up to date on where events stand right now. Andrea Mitchell is at the Capitol. Andrea?
Garrick, within the hour, the House and Senate in separate votes are expected to give the president authority to go to war. It would be the first such vote by Congress since World War II. Already there have been historic votes here today. First in the House, 250 to 183, a decisive vote against requiring the president to give sanctions more time to work. And in the Senate, the vote was 53 to 46, also against requiring him to give sanctions more time to work. There were 10 Democratic senators who defected and voted with the president, the most interesting politically being Senator Al Gore of Tennessee, a defining political moment for him because he is also a likely Democratic presidential contender. Garrick?
Andrea, any doubt as to what the outcome of the final resolution on the use of force will be this afternoon?
None whatsoever. They will vote, and I think decisively, by the same kinds of margins, to give the president the authority to go to war.
This is not a formal declaration of war, but it really amounts to the same thing, doesn't it?
It does indeed. In fact, Speaker Foley this morning opened Congress by saying to members of the press that this is tantamount to a declaration of war, a war resolution, and no one should be under the false impression that it is not. By the way, Garrick, extraordinary security here today. It really is an armed camp, and both houses were well into the morning with this debate, 4 o'clock in the House and 2:15 in the Senate, and then resumed at 9 o'clock after only a brief rest.
Andrew Mitchell at the Capitol, thank you. There were also these other developments in the Gulf crisis today. First of all, the UN Secretary General Javier Perez de Cuellar flew to Baghdad in a last-ditch attempt to salvage a peaceful end to the crisis. He was welcomed there by the Foreign Minister of Iraq, Tariq Aziz. The Secretary General, however, may not meet with Saddam Hussein himself until sometime tomorrow. Also, the last American diplomats, including the U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Joseph Wilson, left Baghdad today and arrived in Frankfurt, Germany. Diplomats from 8 other countries accompanied them on their chartered plane. In Washington today, the Department of State ordered most of the remaining Iraqi diplomats and their families to leave the country. The department says it was acting to prevent any Iraqi diplomats from orchestrating terrorist acts if war does start in the Middle East. And a top State Department official, Lawrence Eagleburger, has arrived in Israel. His mission apparently is to try to convince the Israelis not to get involved should hostilities begin there. Of course, throughout the afternoon, we'll be bringing you up to date on the latest developments, including the votes on the resolutions authorizing the use of force in the Persian Gulf, those votes in the House and the U.S. Senate. And tonight on NBC Nightly News, we'll have a full report on the day's events, and Tom Brokaw will be joining me reporting directly from Baghdad, Iraq. We'll have more of the NFL playoff activity after these messages.
Going face-to-face with Ronnie Lott is easier than facing life without an education.
Think about it. Stay in school.
This message has been furnished by the National Football League. 25 years of Super Bowls, 25 years of guts and glory, fire and thunder. They've all been captured in one silver anniversary Super Bowl game program. You get this commemorative collector's item just by calling the number on your screen. It's only $10 plus $2.50 shipping and handling. Reserve your 256 pages of history today while the glory goes on.
Domino's Pizza delivers this Dark Shadows moment. Enter a world of mystery.
You can't go down there! I cannot help myself!
The dream is alive. Dark Shadows, the motion picture, Sunday on NBC.
At Metro Lincoln Mercury, 1990 Lincoln Town Cars, Motor Trend's Car of the Year, originally priced at $30,875, now only $18,995. Not only does Metro Lincoln Mercury have the best price in Charlotte, but listen to what our customers say.
I've been a customer of a Metro Lincoln Mercury for the past 10 years. I've never had a problem with Metro services.
My mom bought me 2 cars from Metro Lincoln Mercury.
At Metro, we'll make sure you save.
Back when I was a boy, Mom made a country fried steak that was so good we couldn't wait to sit down to supper. I always thought we should have one just like it at Wendy's.
Introducing Wendy's 99-cent country fried steak. 100% beef, lightly breaded and cooked golden brown. It's new on the 99-cent super value menu.
You can take the boy out of the country, but he still has to eat.
Try the new 99-cent country fried steak, only on Wendy's super value menu.
Pray for peace.
Halftime in Buffalo with the score, the Bills 27 and the Dolphins 17. Now here's the scenario in the AFC. If Buffalo wins today, the championship game will be at Rich Stadium next Sunday. If Miami upsets the Bills, tomorrow's winner, be it the Raiders or the Bengals, host the Dolphins for the conference title. There you see it. Well, the weather has deteriorated in Buffalo since the beginning of the game, and most people would figure that the worse the conditions become, the more the Bills like it, but maybe not necessarily.
Well, people assume that when the weather goes bad, that means the running game has to take over. But as witnessed in the first half by the numbers Jim Kelly has, 11 for 16, 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's the defensive backs that are struggling.
Like Nate Odoms.
Exactly.
On the other side
and
of the
Louis
ball,
Oliver.
he's had some trouble with Mark Duper a couple of times.
Well, that's right. He's had a couple of struggles with some of the longer balls, but I think the guy that's really been victimized on the other side has been the safeties, Louis Oliver and Jarvis Williams. Louis Oliver should not be man-for-man with Andre Reed.
Well,
Bob, in order for Miami to have a chance in the second half, they have to make some defensive adjustments. When they played this game a month ago, Buffalo threw a new offensive set at them where they only had one back, Thurman Thomas. They did the same thing today. In neither game so far has Miami been able to stop it, and I think that's what they have to do in the second half.
But the recovery off the fumble punt and the long pass to Duper to get that TD turns a possible route into a game. They're only down by 10. Last week at home, they were down by 13, rallied in the fourth quarter to win. Just as today's AFC game pairs the teams that are very familiar with each other, tomorrow brings a Bengals-Raiders rematch only a month after their previous meeting. For Los Angeles coach Art Shell, the game plan is simple.
We'll take the shots wherever we can, and we'll try to run the football, but don't take Cincinnati lightly.
We're fortunate to have a great set of backs back there. I mean, gosh, it's unbelievable the talent we have.
To go to a team with the two great running backs that this one has, and they're going to stress the run. The thing about the Raiders, a team like the Raiders, if you can take away their running game, I think that's their haymaker, their Sunday punch. That's what they beat people with.
The Raiders' offensive arsenal includes more than a dangerous ground game. Quarterback Jay Schrader was the AFC Offensive Player of the Month in December and can't wait to continue where he left off.
We have so many different weapons. It just depends on what the defense is going to do that day, on what we're going to try to take advantage of. And we'll make adjustments early in the game and see if we can't make some plays and get things going.
They've got speed outside and a quarterback that I think can take that team to the Super Bowl. Maybe some people aren't giving him the credit that they're giving to other contending quarterbacks right now.
I think if we can play bump and run on them and kind of slow him up some and get some pressure on our Schrader and make him do some things that he don't want to do.
The Bengals' explosive offense will be led tomorrow by a healthy and confident Boomer Esiason.
And the last time we played him, I had a severely pulled groin muscle. I can only hope that my leg will hold together long enough for us to play well this game and hopefully win it.
Boomer's always been dangerous, even with his groin pull. He's a threat with the football, running with the ball, passing the ball, handing the ball off in play actions. He really can cover the ball up and do some damage to it.
But the big question everyone has been asking is whether Bengal running back James Brooks will be able to play with a dislocated left thumb.
I won't know till probably game time. I'm not sure I can play or not. I keep giving treatment and all that, and I think, who knows, good thing might happen.
This organization is preparing for the Cincinnati Bengals that we saw play the Houston Oilers. That's who we're preparing for. So, as I said earlier this week, I said that all the money that I had, we've all spent it on Christmas, and we're not buying anything. We're not buying any of the bill of goods that's being sold to us now.
We should note it's a rare sellout at the Coliseum tomorrow, so the Bengals and Raiders will be televised locally on KNBC in Los Angeles. Let's go quickly now back out to O.J. as the Dolphins and Bills get set for the second half in Buffalo. Juice?
Yeah, Bill, Bobby, as the half ended, I was able to run up the tunnel with Jim Kelly, and I asked him, were you playing possum all week? What's been going on? He just winked at me and smiled. He says, O.J., you know it's too cold to hurt. Strangely enough, the wind has gotten a little more consistent now. It was a little blustery in the first half. Marino had a lot of problems with it. I asked Marino, how was it now? He says, fine. He says, my receivers know where they're going, and the defensive backs are having trouble accelerating. So believe it or not, when this much snow gets on the field, the receivers have an advantage, and I expect Miami Dolphins to put the ball up in the air and be throwing a lot of bombs in the second half. Back to you, Bob.
All right, Juice, with his team down by 10 at halftime, it's worth noting that this is the 22nd anniversary of the worst day of Don Shula's coaching life. January 12, 1969, his team, a favorite by between 17 and 20 points, lost Super Bowl III to the Jets. We'll be back after the game with interviews from the field, and you'll also see last night's race featuring sprinter Ben Johnson's return from the suspension that followed his being stripped of his 1988 Olympic gold medal. But for now, it's back to Buffalo after these messages from your local station.
An all-new Seinfeld is back.
I can't be with someone if I don't respect what they do. You're a cashier.
One part sitcom, one part stand-up.
Women need to like the job of the guy they're with.
Men don't really care. Men will just go, really, slaughterhouse? Is that where you work? That sounds interesting. So what do you got, a big cleaver there? You just lopping their heads off? That sounds great.
The critics call it sensational, innovative, funny. We call it Seinfeld on NBC Wednesday at 9:30, 8:30 Central.
Let's join Ivan Gay of Calabash Cove and 42nd Street Oyster Bar. He's in the kitchen now, cooking up some of this week's delicious specials.
Sunday and Wednesday, we're steaming snow crab legs, only $8.95 for 1 pound. Tuesday night is steamed lobster night, only $8.95 for a steamed live Maine lobster. Monday and Thursday, I'll shuck you a half a peck of steamed or raw oysters, only $8.95. Now, this is really good eating.
Calabash Cove and 42nd Street Oyster Bar.
Andy's back in 3 days here on TV 36, Cable 6.
Welcome back to Buffalo. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. Buffalo Bills leading the Miami Dolphins by the score of 27-17. Of course, the Bills have it in their mind that Dan Marino has been amazing in terms of comeback situations, so don't count it out. And the Miami Dolphins, despite the fact that they've been dominated statistically, are able to hang in. Taking a look back at a key play right on that opening series by Buffalo on the opening drive, which eventually led to the touchdown. Watch carefully. Thurman Thomas with the sideline reception.
Well, we didn't have a chance to show it because of the hurry up, but he did have control of the football. They took a look at it right away, and it was a catch. So don't worry about it. Now, when we look at this play here, you're talking about the defense of Miami trying to use Lewis Oliver to cover. Here is Lewis Oliver here. But you try to use Lewis Oliver to cover Andre Reed, it's impossible. Now here's Oliver. Well, I've got the wrong one on my telestrator, to be honest with you. But when you take a look at the bottom of the screen, 83 comes in. 25 Oliver trying to cover him. And he's going to get some help on the other side by Jarvis Williams eventually, but it doesn't make any difference because Andre Reed has already made the touchdown. Again, on another play later on, you have the same thing. Now you have Lewis Oliver here and Andre Reed here, and here's Jarvis Williams again, who's playing center field, and they still can't, on a 4th down play, still cannot make connection because Andre Reed knows where he's going. Kelly knows and sees the one-on-one coverage. With a safety trying to cover Reed, it's almost impossible.
Are you saying the Miami defensive scheme is wrong?
I think it's wrong. I think you've got to go into a nickel package and at least have 3 corners in the ball game, and somebody put a corner on Andre Reed if you're going to try to cover him. Because if you don't, Andre Reed is going to catch enough balls for 200 yards today.
And there is Tom Olivadotti, the Miami defensive coordinator. As we get set for the start of play in the 3rd quarter, Dan Marino 7 for 19, 135 yards. And Jim Kelly 11 for 16, 222 yards. Marino and Miami accounting for only 181 yards total. Buffalo 300 yards in all. Thurman Thomas has run for 49 on 15 attempts. Mark Logan is back deep. The up man is Stephon Adams as Scott Norwood gets set to kick off.
We had talked about the importance of the second half. All right, here's Miami. They got the touchdown at the end of the second quarter, going into the half, and here they are with the ball back again. If they score, they can get within 3 points, but the problem is defensively. Can they stop the Buffalo Bills? And until they do that, it won't make any difference.
It is a short kick. Logan from the 20. So Logan on the return across the 30-yard line. Puts Roll on the tackle. And once again, you can wipe out the stat of time of possession.
Means nothing. Turnovers gave Miami the chance to get the touchdown. Buffalo also scored off a turnover. There was one time in that half when the score was 20-3, and if Bruce Smith would have intercepted the pass, Buffalo could have blown this team away, but he didn't. Miami came back with Marino.
Cooper left, Clayton right. Play action, and Marino has the time. And has the open receiver, Mark Clayton. Clayton's first catch of the day. He's hauled down by Kirby Jackson.
Marv, I don't care how good a corner you are. Here's Jackson. Here's Clayton. Clayton's is covered short by Jackson, but watch what happens. Clayton's got all the time in the world now to just get in front of Leonard Smith, number 46, behind Kirby Jackson, behind the linebacker Bentley, number 50. Marino has all that time to throw the ball. He's going to find an open receiver, and O.J. was absolutely right. He's going to throw the ball deep.
31-yard pickup, first down at the Buffalo 36. Smith. Sammy Smith playing despite the injured ribs. Stopped by Ray Bentley. We are just underway in the third quarter. Sammy Smith was asked about playing with a flak jacket since his college days at Florida State. He had been labeled as a guy who would not play with nagging injuries. Perhaps a player a little bit soft when he would get bumped and bruises. The Kansas City Chiefs found out last Saturday how wrong that can be.
You don't play in the pros if you're soft.
Well, I don't agree with that, Paul. You know, there's athletes, professional athletes who are soft. It's a second down and 2. Incomplete through the hands of Mark Duper. You've played with guys who you felt were soft, I'm sure.
That was in the 60s. We had some fat guys.
Yeah.
Now they're solid. Here it comes. Take a look at Duper. Now here, Nate Odom's number 37 is on him. Duper's going to go inside. Now Nate Odoms is releasing him to the safety. But look at this pass. It's just too high. Leonard Smith is not there. Kelso wipes out Clayton, number 83, after the play. But you can see the double coverage to the inside. Nate Odom's job is to deep outside. I have help in the middle. If Marino was just set, going a little bit lower, he'd have had a completion.
And it's a third down and 2 at the 29. It's Smith with a big hole. And Smith has the first down and some more. Mark Kelso made the stop. Sammy Smith ripping off 18 more.
All right, remember the first half I was telling you about that Marino was going back and handing the ball to Sammy Smith, and the play took too long to get to the line of scrimmage. Watch how fast this one gets there. He turns, here's Smith, he's in the hole. Once he gets to the hole, the first down is there. He's gone. It's beyond Shane Collins. The next guy is Kelso, is the safety man, the last man to make the tackle.
Clayton right, Duper to the left, top of your screen. And Smith able to bounce off a tackler. Brought down by Bruce Smith.
Now, Sammy Smith, Bruce Smith is going to make this play. Do you know why? Because Sammy Smith goes back out to him. Richmond Webb knows that Sammy's running to the inside, and he looks inside to try to help out on Darrell Talley, who's number 56, trying to make the tackle. But Sammy Smith bounced right into Bruce.
It'll be a second down and 9 at the 11. Richmond Webb, Mark Dennis at the tackles. Keith Sims, Harry Galbraith at the guard. Jeff Ulenig is the center. Now Mark Logan in the backfield. Motion. Off the roll. Earl Edmonds brought down by Leonard Smith.
This was almost a tremendous play by Cornelius Bennett, number 97. Marino's going to fake here and then come out on the bootleg. He's got Sims, the only man out blocking. But look at 97. Cornelius Bennett is in his face. Number 58, Shane Collins, was also there. And Marino did a great job just getting the ball off to Farrell Edmonds, who makes a catch and holds on to the football. Now you're in a 3rd and 1 situation. You're down by 10. I don't think they want the 3. I think they want the 7. They reported now, here comes Foster, number 61 in the game, as a tight end.
So it is a 3rd and 1 at the 3. And Smith is stopped. He's short of the first down. Baldinger and Conlon combining to make the tackle. There's Gary Baldinger, a 4-year player out of Wake Forest, coming up with a key play.
I don't like the call. First of all, it's a toss. A lot of things can happen on a toss, and now you're running wide. You're not effective unless you're going straight up the field. Watch, you've got Sammy Smith going to his right. Here's Baldinger and Shane Collins, 92 and 58. They make the play because the footing is not there. Now they're going to kick the field goal. I thought they might go for it, but they lost a yard on the play.
Yes, a 4th down and 2. It's a 21-yard attempt. for Stoyanovich, who in the first quarter hit from 49. And again, Stoyanovich lost his footing, but put it through. They call it a 22-yard field goal. We'll be back in a moment.
At Acura, we believe that the best way to discourage limited thinking is to design cars in an environment without limits. The NSX, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
Diet Coke presents Crack the Code for Real Refreshment.
January, we got a call from distraught store owners.
They just came in and bought out all of our Diet Coke.
Relax, sir. They're just trying to crack the code for real refreshment.
Crack the code?
Game, ma'am. You get these game pieces with specially marked packages of Diet Coke. Then crack the code during the Super Bowl. There's a million prizes, even...
Million?
How'd you guess?
Crack the Code for Real Refreshment.
Diet Coke.
With 100% NutraSweet.
When you rent from Hertz in Florida, you get more than a great car at a great rate. The real bargain is the company behind the car. Because whatever it takes to make your vacation go smoothly, Hertz is there to make it happen. From emergency road service that's as close as a phone to free unlimited mileage. Wherever you roam. Next time you're in Florida, wouldn't you feel better with Hertz behind you?
Hertz, we're America's wheels.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By Diet Coke. Real refreshment just for the taste of it. By the Prudential. Come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock. And by McDonald's. You know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun.
A 22-yard field goal by Pete Stoyanovich. And he has brought Miami within 7. At one point, it was 20-3 Buffalo. It was 27-10 Buffalo. 5 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Don Smith and Al Edwards are the deep men. Smith crossed the 20. And took a shot as he hit the 25-yard line. Stephon Moore made the tackle. And Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills go back to the offense.
They're staying with their base defense, except for one change in the backfield. They have, instead of Lewis Oliver, they have Paul Langford, number 44, who's playing safety.
Paul Langford, a long-time starter, now being used as an extra defensive back. Good hole for Thomas. And it is recovered by Buffalo. They call it down by contact. Will Wolford was right on the football.
They got to change the expression, down by contact. Here comes Thurman Thomas in right now. Is the ball coming out? No. When he hits the ground, the ball comes out, and that is Paul Langford, the man we're talking about.
And 8 more for Thomas, setting a 2nd down and 2 at the 34. Thurman Thomas again, and has the first down. Hugh Green stacked him up.
So apparently what is going to happen now is if they go out to 3 wideouts and they put, here comes the hurry-up offense again. They have 3 wideouts in here with Edwards, Reed, and Lofton. Langford is going to be the inside guy, and he's now in on Lofton on the inside. See if Kelly goes there.
First down at the 42.
Yes.
And he goes sideline, and it was almost intercepted. Instead, Lofton with a move at the last instant to come up with it.
Well, Marv, here we go. Here's Lofton, here's Langford, and he's going to get help up here in the back. And watch what happens. They come down in this area, and this pass is thrown between two defenders. And James Lofton, what a great catch he makes right here. Take a look. There's actually three defenders. J.B. Brown got over. Instead of hitting Lofton, he went for the ball.
31-yard pickup. Actually, Brown appeared to have the better crack at it. Thurman Thomas, the ball carrier.
You know, it's here we are looking at it again. Miami gets the kickoff, goes down, they get 3 points to get within 7, and the defense they're still not slowing Buffalo down. Change something. Go to a nickel package somewhere along the line. The only guy that's carrying the ball is Thurman.
Second down at 8. And Kelly lofting it, put it up for grabs, and it's intercepted by Jarvis Williams. The pass intended for the tight end, Keith McKellar.
Here's the situation where you put Jarvis Williams on the tight end. This is the first pass actually thrown by Kelly to the tight end, McKellar, today. And Jarvis Williams is waiting. This ball was thrown up for grabs. Watch how high the ball is, number one. Now the wind is in his face. Look at Jarvis Williams. He's got all the time in the world to come down with the ball. McKellar should have turned into a defensive back at that point and tried to strip the ball away, and he didn't do it.
Instead, Miami, off the interception by Williams, will take over at their 2-yard line.
Upon its introduction, the first Acura Legend set a new standard for performance sedans. But as impressive as that may have been, it was merely a reflection of things to come. Introducing the new Legend from Acura.
Listen to the trees. They're trying to tell us something about what our polluted air is doing to them and to us. Fortunately, there's an answer. Natural gas. The cleanest burning fossil fuel we have. It can help save the air and everything that lives in it. Listen to the trees, because air pollution is a problem hanging over all of us. Use natural gas and we'll all breathe easier.
I'll put you next to Ted.
Now, when life turns up the heat, there's Degree antiperspirant. Every time your body heat rises, Degree turns on extra protection. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
This is Kelly's first interception game. 55 Hugh Green coming from the outside. Nobody will block him. Kelly gets the ball away. It's up in the air, and then he just goes back with the flow of Green. The worst part about this is you let the defensive man fall on you. Got to get where you can turn a little bit. You know that?
Jarvis Williams, who had 5 interceptions during the regular season, picked it off. First time the Bills have been stopped this afternoon. Marino and Miami start out from the 2-yard line. On the play action, Marino sidearms to Page. Tony Page with his first reception, and it goes for 8.
Marino runs a play-action pass. You know, I was talking to Walt Corey yesterday, and so were you. You ready for this on play action? This play action? Watch this. Do you know that every time they run a play action pass, that the ball is thrown outside of the numbers, and here it is to Tony Page? And every time that Marino, 70% of the time that Marino drops straight back, he throws the ball inside the numbers.
The ball spotted at the 8, so it's a 2nd down and 4. And it's Smith again with a good second effort. Bills have been having difficulty bringing him down.
Well, when you keep moving your feet like Sammy Smith did there, and it's a continuous motion, his effort is continuously moving forward. His legs are going. The defense are looking at standing up and trying to hold the offense. Take a look at it. Here comes Tony Page on Shane Collin. He turns Shane Collin out. Sammy Smith just goes right up over the center, and he gets the first down.
First down at the 13 for the Dolphins. They went 12-4 in the regular season. Came from behind, beat Kansas City in the wild card last week. Smith, a short pickup met by Conlon and Bentley. 6:20 remaining in the third quarter. The Buffalo Bills at one point led 20-3. They led 27-10, and it is now a 27-20 lead for the Bills. It'll be a second down and 8 at the 15. The running backs, Smith and Page. Clayton in the slot to the left. And now Tony Martin flank to the right. Off the draw, it's Smith. Now check that, Logan.
Bruce Smith may not be getting to Marino. He forced him to dump the ball one time, but he's playing the run pretty well. Here comes Bruce Smith. Now Webb was on the outside. He thinks he has the block. What's Smith? He goes back to the inside. He's down. Watch who makes the tackle. Here comes Bruce back. Logan, you're down.
It is a loss on the play. Third down, 11. Back at the 12. Marino throwing deep. It is intercepted by Mark Kelso. Mark Kelso back in the starting lineup, replacing John Hagee. Coming up with the interception.
He's trying to throw the ball to Clayton, or no, excuse me, to Tony Martin, number 89. And watch this, Martin goes to the outside. That ball is thrown to the inside. Kelso's there and makes the play.
Timeout taken, 4:52 remaining. Third quarter.
Cherry Lane.
Can't believe it. Finally here. Home sweet.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, come on. We can fix this place up. After all, we're Winchesters. All I wanted was a simple life. Some investments and a home of our own. Now I wish I never heard of 1636 Cherry Lane.
Did you say 1636 Cherry Lane? This is 1639. That's 1636.
Honey, let's go home.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice, even buying or selling your home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
At Acura, we've discovered that when we go the extra mile, so do the people who drive our cars. The 1991 Acura Integra.
The snow continues to fall here in Buffalo. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. 4:52 to go in the third quarter. And the Bills take over off the interception by Mark Kelso. The Bills 27. And the Dolphins 20.
Well, some people would say that was just as good as a punt on third down, except for one thing. Now, when you have Roby in there, Roby can rocket a ball, and anything can happen on a punt return.
Buffalo first down at midfield. It's Thomas off the draw. Stopped by the inside linebacker, Cliff Odom.
Now they're going to the hurry up again, and here's the situation now we're going to see. You've got Reed and Lofton on the same side. They're on the top side. But what they're doing now is they're putting David Griggs, a linebacker, inside short on Andre Reed.
Second down and 5. McKellar has the first down. 6'4" tight end Keith McKellar, one-time college basketball player at Jacksonville State, was hit by Cliff Odom. That's the second catch of the day by McKellar.
Okay, now you have Reed and Lofton on this side. And here comes Green out inside, but he's going to blitz on the run.
First down from the 36, and it is Thomas on the run, stopped by Jeff Frost. We have not heard Jeff Cross's name throughout the day. Got off to the fast start as tailed off toward the end of the season. In his third year out of Missouri, a very pleasant surprise a year ago. Came up with 10 sacks.
Oh, they're confused. They don't have anybody on Reed right now.
It's a second down and 7. Pass intended for McKellar. It was covered by Odom.
It was unbelievable. They didn't have anybody. Jarvis Williams and Paul Langford were arguing who has Andre Reed. And Andre Reed, for a second, was standing there by himself. There was nobody on him.
It'll be a third down and 7 from the Miami 33. Kelly picks up the first down, completing to Lofton. A 13-yard pass play, and Lofton with his 6th catch of the afternoon.
And that's just one-on-one coverage by McKyer on the outside, and Lofton just beat him to the inside with no help. Here comes Lofton down inside. McKyer is turned. He's already beaten him right here. Watch where Kelly puts the ball. In the numbers going down. Jarvis Williams, 26. No chance to get over there.
Back to the hurry-up. First down at the 20-yard line. Thomas. We're down to 2:50 to go in the third quarter.
Got that thing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're running that hurry-up offense. They've been running the entire ball game, and it's working for them. Now you've got on the top side. We want to point it out because we're going to try and show you when they slow us down a little bit who's covering Andre Reed, but nobody's short.
Second down and 6. Thomas attempting to make his way outside. J.B. Brown, the right corner, able to force him out. And that stops the clock with 2:28 to go in the third.
On the top side, I want to show you something. Here's Andre Reed right here. Take a look. There's nobody inside to cover him. They run a play here. Watch this. It's open. All they got to do is throw to Reed.
3rd and 2. And Thomas running for the first down. He's right at the marker. Odom on the tackle.
They're going to be about a half a yard short on this play, and they're going to kick a field goal, and I don't blame them. You want to go up by 10 and not just be down by 7 against Dan Marino's arm.
Field goal unit is checking in. Scott Norwood has hit 2 for 2 from 24 and from 22. It is a 4th down and 1. Can you see some trickery here?
No, I don't see trickery here. I honestly see him kicking it because Norwood is very effective here. This is his field. He's kicked all week long, all winter long here. And to go up 10, you don't want to be down by 7 against Miami with Marino.
It's a 28-yard attempt. Wright will put it down. And Norwood with plenty of room. Able to drill it through. He is 3 for 3. The Bills expand to a 10-point lead.
What's that cool going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that takes your breath away? That's the taste of real refreshment. That's the real Diet Coke. That's the taste of real refreshment. Just for the taste of Diet Coke.
The engineers at Acura have made a remarkable discovery. A truly extraordinary car is like a truly extraordinary journey. To achieve it, you have to get off the beaten path. The 1991 Acura Integra.
To unlock your body's potential, we proudly offer Soloflex. 24 old-fashioned iron-pumping exercises, each correct in form and balance. All on a simple machine that fits in the corner of your home. For a free brochure, call anytime.
Tonight on an all-new Amen, when Steve Allen gets him thrown off the bench, the Deacon's going off the deep end. Get him out! Then the Pinelli boys are in therapy, and only one person can save them. Golden Girl Estelle Getty's bringing peace and harmony to the Pinelli home.
Shut up, you piece of sheetrock.
Then it's the Golden Girl's shocking wedding, all-new NBC tonight.
Welcome back to Buffalo. Minute 38 to go in the third quarter. NBC News is standing by to bring you up to date on the congressional debate regarding the vote being taken to authorize President Bush to wage war in the Persian Gulf. Aaron Dudley will have a report as soon as something breaks. Mark Logan on the kickoff return. So we will switch back to NBC News as soon as developments warrant. A report from Garrick Utley. Excellent kickoff return by Logan for 43 yards. And Miami will start out from the Buffalo 44.
See, you know it. Here comes Logan, and Norwood is the guy that makes the play. But what happens on a kickoff, first of all, the kick is short. And the guy's going down because there's no footing. They're being very careful. All you have to do is move him, and you get Logan got a crack and got to the outside.
Cooper left, Clayton right. Again, the play action. And Clayton with the reception and did well to hang on to the football. And that goes for 24. Bentley and Smith combined to make the stop.
All right, Kirby Jackson, here he is on Clayton. Watch where this ball's thrown. I keep saying that, but when they hit him in the numbers, you must catch it. Now, there's Ray Bentley. He's knocked down. Watch what Bentley does. Back up on his feet, or on his knees, and makes the stop because Clayton was on his way to the end zone. Super play by the linebacker.
Second catch of the day for Clayton, who is now flanked to the left. First down at the 20 in Buffalo territory. Smith with a big hole. Sammy Smith stopped by the strong safety, Leonard Smith.
You know, you just don't know the importance of Tony Page. He caught a pass coming out of the end zone. Tony Page is an excellent blocker. Here he is again. Watch this. Page in the hole. Bam! You got the linebacker on the ground. That enables Smith to pick up 7.
Second down and 3. Smith again with the hole has the first down and some additional yardage.
You know who makes the play again? Easy, huh? Tony Page. I mean, here he goes. All you do is follow him, Sammy. It's nothing monumental. Watch 49. He's going in on 50. Bentley. Bam! Bentley is turned. Farrell Edmonds turns out, and there is the hole.
Another 10-yard pickup. The good block by Page. That's the end of 3. We'll be back after this from your local station.
Hi, I'm Joe Mantegna. As we face the prospect of war, recession, and the Bud Bowl, let's remember the positive. Saturday Night Live with my guest, Vanilla Ice.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody can tell you what a complete and thorough brake job will cost until they inspect your car. Nobody. Midas gives you a full inspection up front. And for $69 per axle, we'll install organic shoes or pads. $79 for semi-metallic. Inspect hydraulics, resurface drums or rotors, repack non-sealed wheel bearings, and replace needed grease seals and fluid. If a brake's done right, remember, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
That hot cup of coffee.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
That first name greeting. That fast, friendly service you get makes you feel like you're at home, and you are at Home Federal Savings.
Hi, I'm Joe King, inviting you to come to Home Federal for all your banking needs. We now have checking and savings accounts, personal, auto, and mortgage loans, as well as Visa and MasterCard. We're large enough to offer you the services that you want and need, but small enough to give you the personal service that you deserve.
Now, Ditford's Honda in Salisbury does the impossible. Ditford's Honda wants to help pay off your charge cards up to $3,000. You heard right. Up to $3,000 cash back on new Hondas. Cash back varies with model. Choose from Accords, Preludes, Civics, and CRXs. With approved credit, you could be driving home your new Honda and let Ditford's Honda help pay off your charge cards up at $3,000. Under the flags on Jake Alexander Boulevard in Salisbury.
Pray for peace.